Good morning, my people. What is going on, everybody? Monday, December 23rd, 8 a.m. on the dot. Thank you very much for being here. Today's going to be a very, very busy day. I'm just going to tell you guys that right now. No guests today. You got to listen to me freaking talk for an hour plus. There's just a lot going on. There's just a lot going on. I know some people probably started some vacation this week. Hope everybody's enjoying their vacation. I'm sure some well-deserved time off. Here at the Sliwa Show, I got to be honest with everybody. I put in, I think I mentioned to you guys 2 weeks ago, I put in for a vacation. It was denied. It was denied by me. I looked at where we're at, and I'm like, Sliwa, you're going back to work. Going back to work. Won't be a full week this week. I'm going to do a show today. I'll do a post-game show tonight after the Lakers take on the Detroit Pistons. And then Thursday and Friday is my plan where I'm going to do shows as well. And we'll continue to do Laker post games. But, these next 2 weeks or so, I will say this compared to probably most shows and things like that or podcasts, I'm going to pretty much still be doing most of everything. But I will take a couple days off during the week, Christmas Eve and on Christmas. Thank you for being a part of the show. You can see the steam. This one's it's like danger. I just put this tea together. Already had my cup of coffee. So I got some good tea waiting. And then, of course, I grabbed a quote. All right, here's the quote we got today. One who knows how to enjoy life does not need riches. One who knows how to enjoy life does not need riches. Okay. I'm going to take that. I'm going to actually show this for my next payment, whatever it is. I'm going to show them this. I'm going to say, guys, you don't need riches. We just got to enjoy life. They're like, sounds good, brother. Why don't you go ahead and turn in your electric bill? Huh? Go ahead and turn your electric bill. And I'm going to keep telling them, but guys, I got the quote. Yogi, the tea bags. They gave me the quote. We don't need money. Get your check in, buddy. Get your check in. We got a great show lined up today. What is going on with the Los Angeles Lakers? What just happened to the Los Angeles Lakers? Did I miss something? Did all of a sudden the Lakers become a pretty good team? Did they all of a sudden have a little bit of an identity here? So we'll spend some time talking about the Lakers. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. Obviously, these games have been fantastic. Great quotes. Or I'm sorry, great quotes. Great wins. I was looking at some of the people's comments here. But they got some really, really nice win for their last 5 games. Some great stats to kind of point out of what the Lakers have done defensively. So we're going to get into all that. And then, I'm going to ask our Laker fans a question here. I'm going to praise J.J. Redick today. I'm going to talk about how all these different things he's done so far this year that I feel like he's adapted to. I don't feel like he's stubborn by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like his number one priority is winning, and it's not accommodating to others. So we'll talk a little J.J. Redick. Walker Buehler signs a 1-year deal with the Boston Red Sox. If you're a Dodger fan and you're tuned in here, well, get the hell off here, okay? I want Padre fans only. All right, that's probably not going to happen. No, but we'll spend a little time on Walker Buehler. I actually think this is one of the more interesting, I don't even want to call it a divorce, but I think both sides got everything they needed from each other. And I think it's time for both sides to move on. We'll spend some time on that. Rams and the Chargers playoff bound, college football playoffs. I don't know how you guys felt about that opening weekend. A lot of bitching and complaining about the college football playoffs. Not from this guy. Do they need to make some adjustments? Sure. But I'm not going to complain about it. I think that it's got crazy potential. And then we'll end the show with some weekend recaps. All right, let me take a quick look at some of the comments here, and then we're going to get started with the show. Good morning, Al. Good morning, brother. Late Alan. You son of a Miles. I was right at 8 a.m. on the dot. All right? Don't try to late me on a day that I'm not late. Morning, Big Slee. Good morning, Slee. Good morning, Slee and everyone. Look, I like this. I like when everyone kind of says hello to each other as well, because it's not just like you're talking to me. You got a lot of people that are hanging out. So because a lot of people are hanging out, you guys can talk amongst each other. Good morning to you. It's almost like you're walking into the office, right? You see somebody at the office. Good morning. How are you? Kind of hold the door for somebody, right? That's kind of what we're doing here on the chat. So good stuff, and let's get into it. Okay. By the way, the little coffee cafe Meister. Cool spot, again, down here in San Diego. Couple locations. One down in Los Coches area in Santee, so East San Diego, not far from where I grew up. Great coffee. This is a part of my little world now, is I'm going to be just going to local spots, and if we grab some gear, we grab some gear. Grab some coffee, we grab some coffee. Give some shout outs to some of these local businesses. We'll be doing it as well. There's a couple spots in Pasadena I always go to, so I'll be shouting those out here pretty soon as well. All right, Lakers win. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. Okay? This is a team that was shit for about a month. Sometimes I really like cursing on YouTube. You know, it's like it feeds the soul a little bit. Sometimes when you just want to curse, yeah, you just curse. Who'd I have on here? It was Chris McGee, Geeter, a couple weeks ago. He's like, can I curse? I'm like, Geeter, bro, you can say whatever the hell you want here. There's no FCC on our ass. Lakers were really bad for about a month there. And to be honest with you, I really didn't have much of an angle of why things were going to change. And I think one of the things that was concerning me most about the Lakers, there was just seemed like there was a lack of pride with a lot of the players. And it's like, damn, this could really boil over to a bigger issue. This could be a lot worse of an issue, because now all of a sudden you got a team that already has a flawed roster. I think we all know that. They can't get 100% healthy. Guys like Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes. There's been guys in and out of the lineup. You got a first-year head coach. You got a Western Conference that's very competitive. This could get very ugly for the Lakers. And now all of a sudden, if you guys remember some of those articles and even me sitting here on the show, I spent some time saying, yeah, is it time to rebuild? You know, if this is going in the direction that it's going and we're in mid-January, you might want to blow this entire thing up. Then there was a lot of articles out there. Would LeBron go to the Golden State Warriors? Blah, blah, blah. We know everything that's happened over the last month or so. And then we sit here today on the morning of December 23rd, a couple days away from Christmas Eve tomorrow. And now I could sit here and I could stare into the camera and I could tell you that I think the Los Angeles Lakers have established an identity. I think the Lakers have shown what their blueprint is to win, and I think it's sustainable. Let me kind of give you an idea of why the Lakers have won 4 of their last 5 games. Nothing crazy. Nobody's trying to sit here and tell you they're the class of the Western Conference. But they are 6th place in the Western Conference. I'll get into in a little bit, and that's obviously an important area for them to be in and hopefully stay in or find a way to even move up. But they've won 4 of their last 5 because the Lakers actually play defense. Really good, impressive defense. I'm talking about over their last 5 games, they're giving up under 101 points per game. And that's against teams that have an identity for scoring. Of course, I'm talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, who continue to play flourishing right now in the Western Conference. And I'm talking about 2 road wins against the Sacramento Kings. I'm not a fan of Sacramento. I don't know where that team is going. There was a report over the weekend that De'Aaron Fox, hey, just kind of warning you guys here, figure some stuff out before his contract ends at the end of next year. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we know the issues that the Lakers have had against the Sacramento Kings. I mean, come on now. They got swept last year. I think they went through a stretch where, was it 10 of 11 that they lost? Before this year, Domantas Sabonis was undefeated against Anthony Davis. The hell's going on here with the Lakers and the Kings? Lakers are 3-0 against Sacramento this year. And they went on the road and beat the Kings twice in their arena. That's not easy. 2 straight games doing it against the Sacramento Kings. Here's the Lakers' identity. I'll tell you at least over these last 5 games what it's been, and let's see how much they can build on here. Slow the game down a little bit. Why? It's one thing I never really understand. It's not like the Lakers have this high potent offense where everywhere you look, you got lasers, you got shooters, you got snipers, you got guys that, oh my God, Lakers can drop 130 every night. No, that's not the Lakers' identity. And frankly, if they're trying to make that their identity, then I'd be concerned about that. Depend on your defense. The best 2-way player in the world, in my opinion, is Anthony Davis. He's the best 2-way player in the world, which I don't understand. I've mentioned this to you guys before. It makes no sense to me that there isn't a Defensive Player of the Year award, an MVP Most Valuable Player award, How come there's not a two-way player award? The best two-way player in the league. That could be a wing, it could be a point guard, or it could be a guy like Anthony Davis, guys like Giannis, AD that are able to play on both sides of the floor. I don't know why they don't have that some type of award. Frankly, that's a question I should be asking next time I'm at a Lakers game when I'm asking some of the players or the coaches. But the Lakers are depending on their defense. Here's what else they're depending on. 5, 6 guys to contribute with AD as your leader. Let me say that again. AD is the focal point. He's the foundation of your team. And then you got 5, 6 different guys that are able to all chip in. Not everything is on one guy's shoulder. Here's another thing that I think the Lakers have done that have helped with their identity. LeBron is playing closer to one of the guys rather than the guy. LeBron is, in a way, accepting a role where it's, hey, we're better off when I'm not trying to play hero ball. Hey, we're better off when I'm not dribbling the ball and there's 14 on the shot clock, and then all of a sudden I'm making a pass with 4 on the shot clock and nothing happened on offense. They're better when everything runs through Anthony Davis. And listen, it's not going to happen every time. AD had 10 points in the last game. Bron dropped 32. But did you feel like Bron was forcing something against the Sacramento Kings? I did not. So the biggest thing to me right now, the Lakers are 4-1 in their last 5 games. I mentioned the teams that they won, giving up just over 100 points a game on average. The Lakers, it feels like, have an identity. And it doesn't feel like this is, hey, this was just a good week and a half. If you can get stops, you can get W's in the NBA. I would much rather have a team that is known for their defense than is known for dropping 130 points. It was a lot, there was a lot of that tone in the postgame show where whether it was JJ Redick or LeBron or Anthony Davis, anybody that talked, listening to the crew at Spectrum Sportsnet, anybody that had any conversation on Saturday after Lakers beat the Kings, it was basically saying, look, your offense is going to come and go. Again, I'm going to say it, the Lakers don't have an elite offense, so let's not – they just have too many inconsistent players that if you feel like you can depend on, you can't. They tell you that every single game. But if you got a squad that all of a sudden becomes kind of a gritty type of team with Gabe Vincent, with Max Christie, certainly with Anthony Davis as your anchor, guys like Cam Reddish, other players that are going to give – they're going to give everything they got, but they may just not be that good of defensive players. I'll take my chances on that. Trevor Lane put out a tweet yesterday, I want to say. He said that the Lakers are 4-1 in their last 5 games. During that stretch, they are 30th in offensive rating, 1st in defensive rating, and 9th in net rating. I think their offense will improve. It has to if you're 30th. But your defense, if you can rely on your defense, I feel really, really good about that. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes to kind of praise what the Lakers have done so far. And specifically, I wanted to praise what the Lakers are doing defensively. I do feel like there's a little bit of an identity. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out to Laker fans here real quick. Let me just actually see here. Let me grab this comment here real quick, and then I want to get into something about JJ Redick. If you got some thoughts right now on the identity of the Lakers, if you agree with me, look at that steam still coming up. You know what happens sometimes when I get into the rhythm? I get in the zone. Okay, I get in the zone. Let me tell you what the equivalent of the zone is. Let's just pretend when I get into my mode on a topic, it's like me dribbling to shot clock is running down. It's down to 10, down to 8, down to 4. I can't even hear the crowd. I just see the defender in front of me, and I just know that defender is about to give up a bucket. So I was in the zone right there. I didn't even notice the steam that was coming up. You like how I tried to compare me talking on a microphone in a studio as the same thing as hitting a bucket with 20,000 fans watching? Northborough AES. Sack is dazed. No credit there. Lakers are, though, gelling. JJ's making the right call. Defense first. Pistons are a good test. Hope D4 gets some burn. Okay, a couple things on that. Number one, thank you for the super. I appreciate that. I got to be honest with you. The Dalton Connect, because I saw that on Saturday as well. I saw a few people saying Dalton Connect's not getting enough run. To be completely frank with you, that's the last thing I'm worried about with the Lakers right now. Dalton Connect's going to get some opportunities. Dalton Connect's going to have a game or a quarter where all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's that guy again. Hey, Connect is back. Wow. Where the hell's this guy been for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, however long it's been? But I don't really care right now about that. Lakers just need wins. They, like I said, they got to form themselves an identity, and they certainly do that. A couple other things that you said on here. Pistons tonight. You're right about that. JJ making the right call. All right, this is a good transition to talk a little bit about JJ Redick. So, I was kind of mentioning this when I started the show, that there was at least a point for me where there started being a little bit concerned about JJ Redick when they were going through their losing streak. And let me actually just give everybody, let me break down what's happened so far this year for the Lakers and the JJ Redick's first year as a head coach. And I would like to get people's opinion on JJ specifically, but here are my thoughts so far on JJ, and this is kind of what's happened as far as the ups and downs of the Lakers season so far. They got off to a great start. Really, really good start. They're 10-4 to start the season. Remember, they went on a 6-game winning streak. I think at one point they were 4-3. So they started the season out 3-0. Then they lost a couple of games. They're 4-3. They go on a 6-game winning streak. They're 10-4. Everybody feels really good about the Lakers. Now you're talking about, wow, look at JJ Redick. Look what a big difference he is of Darvin Ham. You're talking about Anthony Davis, potential most valuable player. We're all talking about what we're talking about. 10-4 start. Then they're followed by 3-8 of a record, and they got these blowouts from 20-plus points to all the way up to 41 against Miami. Then you're followed by a 4-1 in their last 5 games, 6th place in the Western Conference, and they're sitting at 16-12. Here's what I'm going to tell you about JJ Redick so far that I've noticed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sit here and tell you, hey, schematically, he's great, he's perfect. I don't think I'm going to be able to sit here and tell you that, he's the next future coach of the Lakers for the next 5, 7, 10 years. I can't make that prediction either. But I'll tell you the one thing that I think is the best trait for JJ Redick so far. He doesn't seem stubborn. He doesn't seem like he's not willing to adapt. He doesn't seem like somebody that says, well, I'm going to keep trying this until it works. If there's one thing that I've noticed with JJ Redick so far this year, let me give you some examples. D'Lo was a starter, and then D'Lo was asked to come off the bench. There's nights where D'Lo plays 30 minutes, and there's nights where D'Lo plays 19 minutes. I'll tell you where I'm going with this. There was a point of the year where Dalton Connect was tearing up the league, and the Lakers took him out as a starter, and then guys like me was like, you got to put this guy back in the starting lineup, and he did do that, and then eventually realized he struggled. I'm going to bring him off the bench. Max Christie, he's kind of the latest one that now is getting a little bit more run, has an opportunity to be a starter. He got off to a slow start. No one was really paying attention to him. Now he's one of the starters in the backcourt, helping the Lakers on the defensive side of the ball. I think his greatest strength right now as the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, he's adaptable. He's not stubborn. I'm trying to win. Nothing else is more important than trying to win. And Lakers are going to go through streaks where they lose again, and I'm going to be on here and bitching and complaining, and people will be, saying, what the hell are the Lakers doing? And some people will say, everybody thought it was Darvin Ham was the problem. No, it's the front office, or it's the roster, or it's JJ Redick, whoever you guys want to point the finger at. But as of today, as the Lakers sit here at 16-12, closing in on 30 games of the season, that I think is his best trait so far. I think his best trait, the thing that he's done the absolute best at, in my opinion, JJ Redick seems very adaptable. And he seems like whatever worked today or whatever worked yesterday, if it's not working today, let's turn the page on that. Let's try something different. You know what? We're trying to outscore teams. Is that our identity? 5-7 games later, that's definitely not our identity. Let's put more of a defensive presence in the lineup. And I think they've done that. And I hope this is the identity that the Lakers have. And I hope, obviously, this is something that the Lakers can build off of. But for me and for my money so far, JJ Redick has he's adapted. And I think that's it. It sounds like a simple thing, but I'm telling you, anytime you're in a leadership role, anytime, in any of these, especially a first year head coach, they're trying to put their foot down. They're trying to establish who they are. They're trying to say, no, 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 the way I do it is the right way to do it. And there'll be a lot of times where they can be stubborn and they can say, for the betterment of the team, that their own ego gets in the way. I have not seen that yet with JJ Redick. The one thing that I will ask from JJ Redick is during his post-game presser, I don't know what's going on with his mouth. I don't know. He's either, I don't know if he's eating, if he's got a Jolly Rancher in his mouth. I don't know what's going on. That's the one area of critique that I think is the most important thing to critique right now. If the post-game show tonight, there's something's going on. Something's going on. Got a cough drop in there? I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here as we keep things rolling. All right. Coach still riding on training wheels, okay? Let's see what we got here. JJ's offense passes the eye test way better than last year, and he's willing to adapt. It's funny. I've seen some people talk about last year, and whenever I hear people, bring up Darvin Ham, and they say, "Oh, you didn't even need to make a coaching change." This isn't even an argument for Darvin Ham or against Darvin Ham, but you guys got to understand one thing. You know why Darvin Ham is not the head coach of the Lakers anymore? Take whatever you want from happened last year, the last couple of years, because frankly, getting to the Western Conference Finals and then losing last year to the Denver Nuggets, who at the time were the defending champs. Okay, that's not the worst track record to have. The reason why Darvin Ham's not the coach is because after game 2 of the NBA playoffs, the Lakers' best player said that we don't know what we're doing on both sides of the floor. He lost the locker room. That's why he's no longer there. All right, let's see some more of these here. Let's see. Yeah, look, a lot of people go with him. Yeah, why? I never understood that. JJ doesn't put his hands in his pockets all game, uses timeout, also does use 5-guard lineups like him. I'm going with the Jolly Rancher narrative. All right, so we got a few of these comments here specifically on JJ Redick. I think people need to worry a little bit less about Dalton Connect. Connect has cratered. He'll be fine. He's a rookie. It will all work out. My coffee is not steaming. Get your coffee in, Laker in Hawaii. Okay. There was also another article by the way, Hawaii, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. There was also another article I read this morning, and okay, I got two more quick things I'm going to do on. Well, really one more thing left on the Lakers, and then we'll kind of keep things moving here. There's an article this morning in the Ringer. So usually what I do, give you guys kind of a little bit of my routine. Night before, I kind of get the structure of what I'm going to be talking about. And then in the morning, now I'm searching here. Okay, what else is there? Or did something new drop in the morning? So the Ringer had something come out in the morning. Ringer article on LeBron James. 5 ways LeBron James is finally showing his age. There's a reason why I kind of keep emphasizing with LeBron that it's so critical for his game to adapt. And it's so critical for him to realize and understand that he needs his players, the rest of the players on the roster, to help. Because if LeBron thinks it's just him and Anthony Davis and that's how they're going to get through the league, we're going to go on one of those losing streaks again. If LeBron thinks he's got to play hero ball or the style of basketball he used to play 3, 4, 5 years ago still going to work on this team, ain't going to happen. Man's about to turn 40 years old. Literally, I think in the next week, he's about to turn 40. So the Ringer points out 5 ways LeBron is finally showing his age. His plus-minus numbers. It gets into LeBron in transition, how those numbers look a lot different. LeBron's offensive efficiency numbers, his transition defense, and then just his inconsistency on a night-in, night-out basis. No surprise, no shock. Things like this are probably supposed to happen 4 years ago for LeBron, but here he is. He's still doing it. Last week, I mentioned in a couple different times, there was Speak on FS1, Fox Sports 1 had Magic on. Magic was in studio, and I just thought it was hilarious when Magic and Paul Pierce were both talking about. Paul Pierce was like, at 35, I couldn't get out of bed. LeBron at 39 is still putting up 32s and 6 and 7s and whatever the case is. But I thought the article was interesting. And the only reason why I pointed out is because I think if there's one thing that at least I've noticed on this channel, we're pretty honest about LeBron. I feel like, and I'm talking about not just me, I'm talking about listeners on here as well. And if there's a time and an area in LeBron's game where he really needs to depend on everybody else with LeBron as the anchor or with AD as the anchor, now would be that time. So, and he's still going to have performance. Look at what he did on Saturday. Saturday night against the Kings, phenomenal. Shot over 50% from the field. The only area he really actually struggled in was 3, which he was awful in. But 32 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 steals. I was telling people when I was doing the postgame show on Saturday, I was like, listen, if you're bitching and complaining tonight about LeBron James, then you just genuinely do not like LeBron James and don't want LeBron James to have success. There are certain nights to do it. It wasn't on Saturday. But I will just tell you that article kind of going into it really highlights, hey, it is amazing what he's doing. It is incredible. But he is about to turn 40 years old. And, obviously it's going to be important for him to adjust his game as well. Maybe that's why he took that break. What do you say? He took that break for his body and his mind. Maybe he needed that break. I will say, last thing I just want to say on the Western Conference, and I got one thing on De'Aaron Fox, and then we're going to get into Walker Buehler, who signed with the Boston Red Sox. I'm going to actually show everybody here. Let's do this together, guys. Let's do this together. We're a team. You know what I mean? We're all in the same squad here. Okay, so this just simple, nothing crazy here. It's the NBA standings. But the reason why I want to kind of walk it through with you guys, because I think the Western Conference, whatever we thought the West was at one point, I think the West is kind of rewriting the script right now. So here are Lakers right now sitting in 6th place in the West at 16-12. I'll be the first one to tell you guys. I do understand that they just need to go on a 2-game losing streak and they'll fall right back to 11th. So that's how close everybody is. But I think what's being established for me in the Western Conference, Thunder got the best record. Okay, Memphis, obviously a really good team. Houston is balling out. Give them a lot of credit. Dallas, we know, is going to be there when the dust settles. Denver they're still the Nuggets. I actually think they have holes. I have a lot of questions about their depth, but they also own the Lakers. So what am I supposed to say there? But after these top 5, and this is with, like I said, Denver, I think, has holes. After this top 5, is anybody buying stock right now in the Golden State Warriors, who over their last 10 games, what are the Warriors? 3-7. I give the Clippers a lot of credit for being 16-13. Eventually, Kawhi is going to come back. I think they'll definitely be in the playoff picture, but the Clippers have their own question marks, obviously, without Kawhi. San Antonio's super young. Maybe they go after a De'Aaron Fox, but they're young, and they're figuring things out as they go. The Minnesota Timberwolves, listen, that trade does not look good for them. It doesn't. I know there's a lot of time. I know that the season just started. They were the Western Conference Finals last year. They traded Karl-Anthony Towns, and this team just does not seem like it's the same exact squad. I think they're really missing Karl-Anthony Towns. Phoenix, very hot and cold. I'm not really sure what they are on a night-in, night-out basis. The Sacramento Kings are cratering in front of us, and De'Aaron Fox might get traded. Before the season started, a lot of people thought, including myself, the Pelicans have a good squad. They have the worst record in the Western Conference, and they're probably, going to blow this thing up and try to go get a high draft pick. The point that I'm making is, where we thought there were 12 really good teams in the Western Conference, I would tell you that there's 5 good teams in the West. And then a lot of kind of, I'm not sure what these guys are on a night-in, night-out basis, and the Lakers are still in that mix. But whatever the hell it was and whatever it looked like before, the dust is starting to clear a little bit, and I think the Western Conference is it's much more reasonable than I thought it was going to be. I mean, hell, I look at the top 5 teams in the Eastern Conference versus the top 5 teams in the Western Conference, and it's a fair fight. The East got Boston. New York is good. Cleveland certainly proved that they're good. Milwaukee will be in the mix at the end of the day. If Orlando could get healthy with a couple of the players that they have out. So something to keep in mind there. Okay, last thing I'm going to get into in the NBA, and then we're going to move on to this Walker Buehler Walker Buehler stuff. So the report over the weekend, Rich Paul represents De'Aaron Fox. Sacramento Kings, here's a report. It came from Sam Amick and Anthony Slater, who sounds like got a chance to connect with Rich Paul representing De'Aaron Fox. I don't know why that's so difficult to get that sentence done. That the Kings are entering the danger zone regarding the uncertain future of their franchise guard. While league sources say Fox has not asked for a trade, the former All-Star and his prominent agent are reading the room in Sacramento before deciding what comes next. He declined a 3-year, $165 million deal. He is going to try to get a supermax. Damn, it must be nice to be an NBA player in today's league. Listen, I was joking around on Saturday because I know the Kings would never trade De'Aaron Fox to the Los Angeles Lakers. Fox is a big chip. If that guy is going out, if I'm Sacramento, I'm basically giving this thing another month. Are you turning this thing around or are you not? If you're not, and you don't feel like De'Aaron Fox is going to be part of the future because he doesn't know if he wants to be a part of the future in Sacramento, then maybe I'm going to start thinking about rebuilding. They've lost 4 games in a row. After they lost the 2 against the Lakers, they got their asses kicked at home yesterday against Indiana, got blown out against the Pacers. I'm looking at if a month goes by and the Kings are not one of these, one of the teams that are truly in contention for a playoff spot, I'm really giving a thought about what to do with De'Aaron Fox. I'm giving a thought of what to do with DeMar DeRozan. He just became trade eligible December 15th. That team did not look impressive at all. And maybe that's the reason why I sit back and I say to everybody that I would rather have a team that plays defense and plays offense. Sacramento is a perfect example of it. They can drop 130 any given night, but you get stops. You make it uncomfortable for them. You got a player like Anthony Davis leading the way. You can hold them to 100 points, which the Lakers did twice. One game 99, the other game 100. So keep an eye out on De'Aaron Fox. My trade machine had him coming to the Lakers, but that's not going to happen. I really do actually think that could be a dude that some of these other teams target, and who knows what, obviously what happens after that. All right, let's keep things rolling here. I'm gonna get ready to talk Dodgers. I just want to see David, are AD and LeBron playing tonight? Yeah, I saw that they're questionable. I saw that they're questionable, but I gotta imagine they're gonna play. I really, really imagine that they're gonna play. Number one showing his age is crazy receding hairline. Well, he's about to turn 40. You know what I mean? Trying to turn 40 here. Okay, let's keep things moving. Walker Buehler is a Boston Red Sox. News came out this morning. Let me just kind of give everybody an idea of let me see here. I had the article popped up here, so let me just open it up here real quick. So to just kind of simplify everything here, the Red Sox signed Walker Buehler, and the deal that he signed for is a 1-year deal at $21 million. Perfectly mirrors that of the qualifying offer. There's a reporter for the Red Sox who broke the news, or I'm sorry, for Yahoo Sports that broke the news a little bit earlier. The deal is pending a physical and includes incentives that could raise the value beyond the projected figure. Okay, let me say this. And I know some people are putting on here. Let me find. Somebody had Slee really giddy about Buehler not signing with the Dodgers. Okay, let me find another one here. Somebody else had something about that. Slee is taking this Buehler signing too easy. Okay. Damn, Buehler to the Red Sox is huge. Okay. Let me put everybody back into perspective. Okay. I don't know what else Walker Buehler can possibly do for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I actually think, and for those that are saying, oh my God, I must be so excited because I'm a Padres fan. Do you know how many different starters they got ready to go next year? Was anybody walking into the playoffs saying to themselves that the Dodgers felt really good about giving Walker Buehler, who's had 2 Tommy Johns, the ball again or in big situations? Walker Buehler, there's nothing left for that man to accomplish in Los Angeles. I think at points you reach a stage of your career where you basically decide, is it time for me to move on? And the organization is trying to make a decision themselves. And if both sides went the other way, I think both sides can feel good about where they're sitting this morning. Walker Buehler is going to get a chance to obviously go pitch for the Boston Red Sox. Who they went out and got Garrett Crochet over the offseason so far. We'll see how they do. I mean, I don't. Boston's going to be, that division's always tough. Walker Buehler was arguably the most clutch player the Dodgers have had over the last. I mean, when I tell you guys, when I know Clayton Kershaw's got the more decorated resume, Walker Buehler's got the more decorated moments. And if I'm picking between the two, give me the guy that when the game is on the line or a big playoff game where you need a W. I mean, really, for the Dodgers, what do you go, 10, 11 scoreless innings after that Padres game? Tatis hit a 2-run homer off Walker Buehler. That was it. Padres never scored again for the rest of the series. I know that wasn't only Walker Buehler, but he went on. He was great against the Mets. He was great against the Yankees. The dude actually took the ball and closed the game on, what do you have, a day rest, 2 days rest, and closed out the final out at Yankee Stadium in the World Series. I don't think there's anything left for Walker Buehler. And the Dodgers making a business decision on Walker Buehler, or maybe it was Walker Buehler that just said, hey, this is the most money that I could get. It's $21 million, and I'm just going to go grab this. And if I could be a starter for the Boston Red Sox, a team that actually needs me, then maybe I can give myself an opportunity to show rest of Major League Baseball that I still got it, so then I could go get paid. Tell me how Walker Buehler is getting into this lineup with the Dodgers, okay? Here is the pitching rotation for the Dodgers next year. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, Tony Gonsolin is coming back. Maybe Dustin May's a starter. Maybe he's not. Maybe they have him coming out of the bullpen. Clayton Kershaw, Bobby Miller, Landon Knack. And oh, by the way, you're probably the favorite to get Roki Sasaki as well. Tell me how Walker Buehler is supposed to get X amount of starts to show the rest of Major League Baseball that this guy can still pitch. How is he supposed to do that with the Dodgers? I really actually do feel this. I feel like both the Dodgers and Walker Buehler going their separate ways. This is one of the more, I think I can understand this one better than most free agent signings or teams that say, nah, we're not going to go after that player. I think both got the absolute best they could from each other. Walker Buehler is a Dodger legend, period. Walker Buehler, anytime he walks into Los Angeles, I don't know if the Red Sox play the Dodgers next year at Dodger Stadium. Whenever he's in LA, he's going to get a standing go. He's going to be remembered for his time as a Los Angeles Dodger. Okay, Walker Buehler is trying to get paid. Walker Buehler is trying to show he still has it. I don't think he's going to get that opportunity with the Dodgers. They just went out. Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell. That between those two players, you're at $300 million. Then at $325 million with Yamamoto, you're at $600 and change. And I haven't even mentioned Shohei Ohtani yet. They got players on the books that they're going to hand the ball to and rely on. So I think, and again, I'm going to go back to what I just said. Who knows what happens with Roki Sasaki? But clearly, the Dodgers are probably the favorite to get him as well. Walker Buehler's got to do what's in the best interest of Walker Buehler, which is get as many starts as I can somewhere else to show that I'm worthy of a 3-4 year deal down the road. He's not going to get that with the Dodgers. He's not. Now, for those that, I mentioned some of the comments where they're like, oh, Slee must be happy Buehler's not going to be there. Guys, there's 39 starting pitchers available for the Dodgers, and 34 of them are really good. So I think it had less. Walker Buehler, the Dodgers walked into the postseason. I would say the biggest surprise to me of everything that happened in the postseason to the Dodgers' run to the World Series, for me, it was Walker Buehler. Maybe Tommy Edman. Kike's had moments like that before. Freddie Freeman was incredible. Okay, he's had moments like that before. Freddie Freeman's an absolute baller. The biggest surprise to me was, what do you mean Walker Buehler was unhittable from the end of the Padres series through the Mets series, through the Yankees series, and then closed out the final game in Game 5? He was the biggest surprise to me. You know, he became a necessity, but he was supposed to be a luxury, and he came through. So I'll take a look at the comments here, but I do really think at the end of the day, what the Dodgers are doing in this position is basically saying, you're probably better off in Boston because you're going to get the amount of starts you need to show you can go get a real contract. I never thought the Dodgers were going to go give him 3-4 years, and I think by him signing with the Red Sox for 1 year, I think there are a lot of teams that were not willing to give him 3-4 years. Do you guys remember me saying this? I remember saying this during I think once the World Series ended. And I know that I kind of came out of my way to say, I think the Padres should go get Walker Buehler, go sign him to a 1-year deal, overpay. And they need a player like that, not just because of his arm. They need a winner. They need a winner in that clubhouse. They need someone that has experienced what it's like to go through tough losses and go through big wins, and what that clubhouse, they need a guy like Walker Buehler more than on the mound, inside that clubhouse. Padres they clearly were not ready for the moment when the moment was right in front of them. And I thought Walker Buehler can offer that to the Dodgers or to the Padres. Unfortunately for the Padres, they don't got money. They don't got any money. So they can't go try to get a guy like that. All right, let's see what else we have here. JJ says, I trust. Yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, if the Dodgers are making moves, then there's a reason why they're making them. And again, they have so many starting pitchers. Guys, Yamamoto was a stud in the playoffs, and you paid him the most the pitchers ever got. So he's only going to get better. Blake Snell's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Tyler Glasnow was by far the best pitcher for the Dodgers before he got injured. And Shohei Ohtani is he's a pretty good player himself. And I haven't even gotten to some of the other players that are on there. All right, let's see what else we got here. Somebody had Buehler is a made man in LA. Yeah, I actually think I do believe this. I think there's a little bit of I think there's a little bit of this makes sense for both sides. No hate to Buehler, get paid. It's a business to the Dodgers. It is a business to the Dodgers, but I also think they make a lot of smart, business moves. Here's another one. Buehler come back. Yeah, he's gone. It's already over, guys. This is not even close. Buehler has done more in the playoffs than guys. Literally, if I told you give me Clayton Kershaw's finest moments and give me Walker Buehler's finest moments, trust me, the Walker Buehler finest moments are going to stand out more. They are. If we're talking here, if you want regular season, go ahead and go with Clayton Kershaw. If you want the biggest moments in the, in Dodgers history over the last 10 years, I'm pretty sure everybody's going Walker Buehler. Okay, let's keep things moving here. I got to ask everybody a quick question here. All right, how am I doing this? Then we go that, and then we go that. All right, let's go football here real quick. I won't spend too much time on this. I'm just going to give credit where credit's due. Here's where credit's due. I don't know how much you guys are watching the NFL over the weekend, but both of these LA teams in the NFL, both of them are pretty good squads. And, I talked a little bit about this on Friday, how instantly coaching can just change everything. I don't need to explain to you guys how important coaching is, but let's start with the Rams here real quick. Started the season 1-4. There were some rumors out there. I remember actually doing the show, and I saw some of the rumors out there that, hey, they should trade. They're listening to offers for Cooper Kupp. And is Matthew Stafford going to be here? I'm like, the hell's going on? Anybody else watching the division? The division is shit. Just give it a second. And see if you are the Rams. I mean, it's not completely out of the ordinary to win the division, but I also was never sold on the Rams. I just thought they were an average team in a bad division. And here we are now. They won again yesterday. They're 19-9. Start the season out, or they won the game 19-9. They're 9-6 on the season. They started the season out 1-4. They can, clearly control their own destiny. All they got to do is handle business. I think after the loss, because Seattle lost yesterday, Arizona is completely eliminated now from the playoffs. But after the loss, after the win for the Rams and the other losses that are out there, here's the playoff look for the Los Angeles Rams. They're sitting at 9-6. They may very well be hosting a playoff game at SoFi Stadium. By the way, if they do make the playoffs, which it's all but certain going to happen, it'll be the 6th year out of 8 years that McVay has made the postseason. So now you got a team with the Los Angeles Rams. I do think the NFC is kind of wide open. If I put all my money on a team, as long as Jalen Hurts is healthy, I put my money on Philadelphia. But Detroit's beatable, especially with their coach. I just think he takes too many risks. Minnesota's beatable. I know they're 13-2, but one of those losses is to the Los Angeles Rams. And I think Philly would handle the Rams, but who knows what happens. Hurts got to obviously be healthy. You got a lot of time until the playoffs start. Who knows? Maybe they run into a team before they'd have to play the Rams, so we'll see what happens. But the NFC's open, and I think that the Rams are starting to play their best football at the right time. They're dangerous. They run the ball. They can win in a shootout like they did against Buffalo. They can win in a grinded-out game like they did against the San Francisco 49ers. So really impressive what they're doing. Just to kind of emphasize on this one as well, Chargers. I talked about it after they won. They beat the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. They're also a playoff team, and under Jim Harbaugh, I don't know. Do you want to play the Chargers? They had a dogfight against the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. So, obviously coaching is everything. I do think there's also something about LA. They got a lot of teams, right? A lot of professional teams. And I think there is this, aside from trying to fight against other teams in other markets, you're also trying to fight for attention within your own market, in the LA market. And I think that just kind of continues to raise the bar. It's like, here's LAFC winning obviously winning a MLS Cup championship. And then the next year it's like, all right, well, the Galaxy's got to raise their game. They do it. Dodgers obviously have always had their game wherever they were since the Guggenheim Group took over. I think the Chargers moving to LA, it's like they have such a challenge to try to get eyeballs and get people's interest. Okay, you got to go get that coach, Jim Harbaugh. And if your team is relevant, then they'll cover you. Ballmer, obviously, what he's tried to do with the Clippers. It's just there's so much competition within the city that it kind of raises the bar for everybody. Those two squads are going to be in the playoffs. Okay, let me just look at a couple of comments here, and then I want to get into the my thoughts on the college football playoffs. Rams play good ball, big respect. I agree. I don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to football. You guys know my story. My story is grew up a Charger fan, and I despise the owner because he took one of only 2 professional teams out of San Diego. So when I watch games, I just watch to watch. But I'm always kind of intrigued by the Rams because the way they do business. It's an impressive organization. Starts at the top, trickles its way down. I think Sean McVay, he's the best coach. Okay, let's say he's top 3 in the NFL, and the guy I don't even think is 40 yet. Yep, somebody said here Jalen Hurts is hurt. Okay, so we'll keep going here. What did you guys think? What do you guys think of yep, Eddie, I agree with you on this one. Chargers do really belong in SD. By the way, can I just say this last one on that? I want to get into college football playoffs. Also good for business when you have I like this San Diego versus LA thing, right? Like that's a good thing. The baseball, I thought the best rivalry in baseball was the Padres and the Dodgers. They're 2 hours apart. That's a good little thing to have. I mean, imagine the NFL going back to LA. And I know the Rams, it's AFC, NFC, but that would have been a good thing to have. It's like you got a team out here in San Diego. They got a team out in LA. I feel like that's good for business. These cities are 2 hours apart. Sounds like it makes sense to me, but anyways, we'll keep going here. Thoughts on the college football playoffs. So listen, I get it. I understand it. The games were not good at all. Not good at all. And I was excited to watch college football. On Saturday, I think I'd mentioned, guys. So Friday, they had one game. That was the Notre Dame, Indiana game. And then Saturday was Clemson, Texas, SMU, Penn State, Tennessee, Ohio State. There's a lot of bitching and complaining, a lot, about the college football playoff and how bad the games were. Okay. So Notre Dame was up they had control of that game against Indiana the entire way. Texas won by 2 scores. Penn State blew out SMU, and Ohio State blew out Tennessee. I get that the games were not good, but let me just take a quick step back here for a quick second. It's the first time they've ever done this college football playoff. It's the only sport that doesn't have an extended playoff. The NBA, you got 8 teams from both sides. You can argue that that's too many. That's fine. Now they're adding a play-in tournament. The point is that there's playoffs. The NFL now has got 7 teams on each side. You got 14 teams that get in. Major League Baseball now, obviously expanding their playoff rosters. Well, it's great. I love it. It helps a lot of cities to be in the mix there, and all these games matter as you get into August and September when it comes to baseball. So the season is so long and there's so many games. My thoughts on the college football playoff is this. The concept, they got spot on. The concept that they're building is going to be big time. I mentioned it's the only sport that doesn't have, a real playoff system. The matchups are going to get better. The environment of having these home games in December, and it's a playoff game, and it's two schools that never face each other. They never cross paths. I love it. I think it's going to absolutely kill it. Eventually, it's going to get better. I want to play something because I think there was a really good suggestion. Kirk Herbstreit, basically just talking about, he was on Sports with Cone, and he's basically saying there's ways to improve this. I think it's going to improve. No question about it. I think it's going to improve. But take a quick listen here, because I think his point on basically talking specific about the college football playoff, what people are bitching about, he's got a solution to it. Take a quick listen.
Home teams won. They not only won, but they won by double digits. What is your biggest takeaway from this first weekend of the 12-team playoff?
That I hope next year the committee won't get caught up in what the social media and a lot of people who are fringe fans get caught up in, which is wins. They had 11 wins. They must be good. Who did they beat? I think is much more important than how many wins you have. That's old school way of approaching it. Indiana having 11 wins and beating nobody, that doesn't mean they're one of the 12 best teams. Remember, I know, Linda, I'm not taking this out on you, but there's a big difference between deserving and best.
Yeah.
What this is all about is giving us the best 12 teams. Now, it's subjective.
All right, I'm going to pause it right there. We're good. That's all I wanted to show you guys. I think at the end of the day, they're going to learn from this first year. It's the first year they've ever done it. They've never done it before. There's a lot of conversation about it, a lot of chatter about it. I think, questionable seeding. Guys, Arizona State and Boise State should not have buys, okay? My school, where I went to school, San Diego State University. I love my school. Boise State played San Diego State. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's another SEC team out there, another Big Ten team that should have that bye. They're going to figure all that out. All that's going to get figured out. But I'm going to go back to what I said from the beginning. The concept of this college football playoff is pretty damn impressive. Pretty damn impressive. The concept of where it's going to eventually go, pretty damn good. By the way, I wouldn't be surprised if they expanded as well. It's at 12 right now. Don't be shocked in a couple of years it's at 16 or it's at 14 and they give a couple of buys. They got something. They got something. I thought this year was one of the cooler college football seasons that I've ever watched, because you obviously had the Big Ten, USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington all joining the Big Ten. Matchups now that we've never really seen in September and October and November. You only see it in the Rose Bowl or something like that. So I think college football is in an unbelievable position. I mean, hell, I'm watching college football games on Saturday. Oh, this was on Friday night. You know what one of the ads were? it was the NFL. That's like, hey, we know you guys got a lot of eyeballs that are going to be on this college football game, this Notre Dame, Indiana. Can we promote what we got going on this weekend? I know NFL is always going to be king, but I thought that I thought it was a really, really fun, impressive weekend, even though all the games were bad, because I could just see in the future how this was going to be so much better once they kind of cleaned up some stuff. All right, let's see what we got here. Boise State and ASU will get blown out on New Year's Day. You might be right. All right, let me actually see the actual matchups. I looked at it. So here are the 4 matchups. You're going to have Texas, Arizona State. Okay, I got to put all my money on one of those 2 teams. I'm putting all my money on Texas. Ohio State, Oregon. I got to be honest with everybody. Yeah, I'd love to see Oregon win a national championship. I think that'd be really cool. Ohio State played Oregon earlier in the year. Ohio State has a chip on their shoulder. The loss against Michigan. Ohio State can win that game. Penn State, Boise State. I'm taking Penn State. Notre Dame, Georgia. There you go. That's the type of matchup that I'm looking for, and we're going to get that in the next round. So overall, I thought it was a phenomenal weekend, even though all the games sucked. Don't get me wrong. I stopped watching. If it's a 2-game, if there's a school up by 2 touchdowns, we're in the 4th quarter, I'm not watching. But I think just the concept. I love the concept, and I think the concept will eventually work. All right, let's keep things rolling here. I got the weekend recap that I want to get into here real quick. There's so much stuff going on. Jesus. So much stuff going on. No show tomorrow, everybody. No show tomorrow, and no show on Wednesday. So I just want you guys to know. Look at this lazy ass. Look at him. He goes off, does his own thing, right? Supposedly running his own business. He doesn't even come to work on Christmas Eve and Christmas. Personally, if I were you guys, I would unsubscribe. I don't know if there's ever been any YouTube content creators that have said you should unsubscribe from the channel, but I'm just saying. Lazy ass over here is not working on Christmas Eve and Christmas. All right, look. Yeah, people unsubscribing like no tomorrow. By the time this show's done, I'll be down to 18,000 subscribers. Okay, weekend recap. A couple things here that I'm going to point out. Alex Caruso signs a 4-year, $81 million extension with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not sure. I kind of feel like that might be a little too high for Caruso. But to be completely honest with you, go look at the numbers being thrown out right now in the NBA. Go see what some players are making. Let me give you an example. Taking an indirect shot at D'Lo. D'Lo's making 18.5 a year. Would you rather have D'Lo or Alex Caruso? I think every Laker fan would rather have Alex Caruso. But it is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So whatever they do, you kind of trust. They obviously traded Josh Giddey in the offseason for Alex Caruso. But he signed, like I mentioned, he signed an 4-year, $81 million deal. Did you guys see this? I didn't even realize this. I saw it this morning. Wembanyama had a 30-point, 10-block night. What the F? Okay, here's a unique accomplishment. Second season in the NBA. His 10-block game comes during a season in which he also had a 50-point game and a 5x5 game. I swear on my life, I'm doing the sign of the cross here. Okay, I swear. I have watched the NBA my entire life. I've never heard of a 5x5. What is that? Somebody in and out? I don't know what a 5x5 is. Okay. A 5x5 is when you have over 5 in 5 different categories. Over 5 points, over 5 rebounds, over 5 assists, over 5 blocks, and over 5 steals. Okay, I just learned that. He's just the 3rd player since the league began keeping track of blocks in 1974 to do all 3 in the same, joining, I don't know if you guys ever heard of these guys, David Robinson and Hakeem Olajuwon. What the F is going on with Wemby? So I saw that over the weekend as well. Okay, a couple other things that I do want to point out. Saints at the Packers tonight. So there's a game with some playoff implications, not because of the Saints, but because of the Green Bay Packers. MLB, the passing of Ricky Henderson. We saw that over the weekend, passing at age 65. Very young. Very young. It's interesting. He's obviously the king of stolen bases, number one on the list of stolen bases with 1,406. Yesterday, if you were watching Twitter at all, everywhere you kind of went, it was something about Ricky Henderson. It was somebody else talking about him. It was somebody else telling a story about him. So shout out to Ricky Henderson. Really part of my era of baseball too, kind of my favorite era. When I was growing up in the 90s in San Diego, the Padres were really good, 96 and 98. 98, they went to the World Series. That's when they lost to the Yankees. But watching that era of baseball, obviously Ricky Henderson kind of in the thick of it, even had some time with the San Diego Padres, but really, really sad and only his passing at such a young age. So that's really sad, really unfortunate. That's something that happened over the weekend. And the last thing that I'm just going to point out here as we call it a day, this is just based off of ESPN ranked their top 10 teams in the MLB right now. So no real surprise. I'll tell you guys the top 5. Dodgers at number 1, Philly at number 2, Atlanta at number 3, Yankees at number 4, and the Padres at number 5. They got the New York Mets at number 6. You know what's crazy about this list? 5 of the top 6 teams all in the NL. So if you're an American League team out there, you got a path. If you're an NL team, you not only have to go through the Dodgers, you got to go through Philly, you got to go through Atlanta. New York just got Juan Soto. So there's a lot of teams obviously to go through. We'll see what the Padres end up doing, but a lot of stuff going on there as well. Okay, my people, I really, really appreciate you guys hanging out on this day before Christmas Eve. I will tell you guys that I will be back tonight. So Lakers got the Pistons tonight. So I am going to spend some time doing a post-game show tonight talking about the Lakers and hopefully having won 5 of their last 6 games. No show tomorrow and no show on Wednesday. I may put out videos that are they're not live. If there's something out there or a topic going on, whatever the case is. So I may be doing that. But don't hold your breath because I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that. If I don't talk to you guys before Wednesday and you're not on the show tonight, I wish you guys all a Merry Christmas, obviously, spending time with family, enjoying your holidays, hopefully a little bit of time off of work. Thank you very much for spending some time and continuing to be on the show. So I really, really appreciate that. Really feel great about this channel and where the channel is going. And a lot of it is because of you guys and the support that you guys have had towards the show. So thank you for doing this. I'm back on tonight. Please, if you can take just 10 seconds of your time, just subscribe to the channel. That would really, really appreciate it. And thank you for the time. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tonight after the Lakers take on the Pistons.